Today, in the Mediterranean area, 4 countries are responsible for approximately 90% of toxic waste generation. For this reason, it is important to carry out actions that support sustainable models of development. 10 organizations from 6 Mediterranean countries collaborated in order to exploit and capitalize knowledge and experiences acquired during research initiatives in the field of environmental management, and specifically in the thematic area of sustainable consumption and production and eco-innovation. But what does capitalization of knowledge mean? This means that things don't start from scratch again. The concepts of sustainable consumption and production and eco-innovation have been discussed a lot during the last years. A significant number of related initiatives have been successfully implemented during this time, and some of their outputs and results look very interesting. So 20 outputs of this kind were initially selected to be further exploited. The type of these outputs, referred to as tools as well, vary from software applications and web databases to methodologies and studies. Beneficiaries and target audience vary as well. Tools are conceived to be used some by companies, some by the public sector, some others target both private and public sectors. The outputs selected cover the necessary technical knowledge and experiences required to develop an integrated tool that promotes the sustainable consumption and production in policy, business and society scopes in the following 4 focus areas: sustainability of the products or services, sustainability of the production processes, sustainable management of industrial areas, sustainable consumption patterns and behavior. In addition, these tools might focus on different sections of the sustainable consumption and production value chain. The area of sustainable consumption patterns and behavior is being considered more as a horizontal one, allowing focus on specific topics, crossed with the other 3 areas of the project. Partners needed an integrated model, according to which the different outputs of the projects would be collectively unified in order to consolidate their capacity to pursue the objectives of each focus area of the project. At the beginning of the task, a guideline was drafted in order to propose a common approach, a shared and unique schema on how to set the ECO-SCP toolkit, the core of the integrated model. 3 working groups were established, focusing their activities on the 3 focus areas. 1. Sustainability of the products and services. 2. Sustainability of the production processes. 3. Sustainable management of industrial areas. At the end, 4 eco-innovative management tools were proposed for the improvement of products and production processes, as well as the improvement of management of industrial areas in a way that allows cost savings and minimization of environmental impacts at the same time. The sustainability of the production processes practice has been developed to facilitate the policymakers and enterprises to improve the implementation of the requirements established by the IPPC regulations and other environmental policies and schemes. The eco-innovative practice is made up of 2 different ones, one at policy and the other one at operational level. The aim of the Sustainable Production Processes Policy Practice is to support the implementation of the IPPC requirements established at European level at regional level by introducing a permit especially customized for the MED area and all MED companies. So partners introduced the MED IPPC net methodology that integrates the following elements: guidelines on best practices on IPPC permitting and follow-up procedures, a software platform for the application of the common methodology for the implementation of the IPPC directive, guidelines supporting the competent authority on the content of a MED IPPC net permit, guidelines supporting applicant companies to standardize data and information needed by the competent authority in issuing the MED IPPC net permit. An operational tool was developed that supports companies identifying the best available techniques, BATs, most suitable for pollution prevention and control in their production processes. The Sustainable Production Processes Operational Practice introduces a 5-step methodology on how to use an environmental audit to identify and satisfy the technological needs in the MED area. The practice on sustainability of products and services has been developed to guide companies throughout an eco-design process. The practice resulted in an innovative, intuitive, and practical tool, the ED tool. ED tool helps companies to characterize the environmental aspects of products and services by using mainly qualitative analysis, but also quantitative data when life cycle assessment (LCA) results are available. The practice also proposes flexible and intuitive environmental improvement strategies for the product or service of study and guides the company to assess the economic, technological, and social feasibility of these strategies. ED tool capitalizes knowledge and experience gained during several innovative past projects. Real examples, together with an enlightening tutorial video, really facilitate companies in adapting the eco-design approach and benefiting from lower production and labor costs and greater efficiency, reduced material and resource costs, lower waste disposal costs, improved functionality and quality of products, easier and lower cost of compliance with legislation, easier disassembly and increased potential for recycling, most suitable product design life, increased market share, improved environmental performance, improved customer and supplier relationships, a better working environment and business culture. Using ED tool can also lead indirectly to economic benefits, such as providing a useful marketing tool and encouraging innovation and product development. Sustainable management of industrial areas is one of the key elements to foster eco-innovation in the Mediterranean region. A toolkit thus was developed through the integration of appropriate outputs from past projects. The most important elements of this toolkit are an innovative management model approach promoting synergies among stakeholders, a shared industrial development policy, common infrastructures, and innovative services. Other tools that were integrated in the toolkit for the sustainable management of industrial areas are a checklist and scoring system for international benchmarking of industrial areas, a web database of best practices for industrial MED areas, a guide to design eco-efficient industrial buildings, a checklist for sustainable logistic, and a software for calculating the carbon footprint of waste management. This toolkit targets industrial areas managers, small and medium-sized enterprises, SMEs, local authorities, service providers, and general stakeholders. By using it, traditional industrial areas could turn into poles of sustainable growth, thus improving territorial attractiveness and competitiveness. If the first level aimed at building the toolkits by integrating the corresponded outputs, the second level of integration responds to the question, how could these toolkits be used in a better way? So the integration model foresaw a sort of matrix aimed at suggesting to the end user ways to use the different toolkits together. But how easy is it for the business sector to shift to greener operations? Are companies aware of the existing opportunities and tools? What about the technical knowledge and expertise required to develop eco-innovative solutions? How soon companies' financial benefit arises? And the role of society? Should local communities be more involved as active sustainable consumption and production stakeholders? Are citizens sensitized and participatory enough? To answer these, and many more, points of weakness, ECO-SCP-MED partners worked at policy level as well, mutualizing experiences and tools in order to design a policy recommendation document on sustainable consumption and production in the Mediterranean area. An interdisciplinary approach was followed, taking into account that policy recommendations should address and activate a vast audience of stakeholders. This phase of the project was composed of a screening activity, an in-depth analysis of existing sustainable consumption and production policies, and of networking activities. The resulting policy recommendations refer to 4 main areas of intervention: policies, integration and harmonization, awareness, dissemination and education on sustainable consumption and production, networking as an instrument to raise the system's competitiveness, tools to support the application of sustainable consumption and production principles. So, an integration model, 4 toolkits for promoting sustainability of products and services, sustainability of production processes and sustainable management of industrial areas, and a concentrate of strategic policy recommendations were the major outcomes of the ECO-SCP-MED project. In conclusion, through the synergies among projects and partners and the building of a network of networks, ECO-SCP-MED Capitalization Project managed to reinforce and enlarge the capacities of classical projects to disseminate and transfer their results.